Hello and welcome back to 504 Road Trips. Today's city drive will be in Minneapolis, Minnesota. We're arriving in downtown Minneapolis, exiting from I-394 at the 12th Street exit, which skirts the southern end of downtown. I'll be narrating this video because I spent many years as a city bus driver here in Minneapolis. Here we cross Hennepin Avenue, which, like the county, is named for Father Louis Hennepin, the 17th century explorer who discovered St. Anthony Falls, which is the highest waterfall on the Mississippi River. On the left is the Minneapolis campus of the University of St. Thomas, named for St. Thomas Aquinas, the patron saint of students. On the left, at the corner of LaSalle, is the Continental Hotel, which was rumored to be where the first victim of serial killer Andrew Cunanan was found. He was more well known for the murder of Italian fashion designer Gianni Versace. We cross Nicollet Mall, which is considered to be sort of a transit way as passenger cars aren't allowed to drive on it. Only buses, taxis, emergency vehicles, and at times bicycles are allowed to travel here. Along with Hennepin Avenue, Nicollet Mall forms the cultural and commercial center of Minneapolis. Several notable buildings line the mall, notably the IDS Center, the former Dayton's flagship store, Orchestra Hall, and the Hennepin County Library. Minneapolis CBS station WCCO-TV broadcasts from studios and offices on the south end of the mall. Overhead, you may notice one of the many aerial crossings from building to building which resemble a habit trail for people. And that's basically what it is. For anyone who isn't familiar with Minnesota, it's very cold for about half the year. In the core 80 square block area of downtown, you can enter most any building and you'll be able to find an entrance to the Skyway on the second level. Once you're in the Skyway system, you're able to travel to almost any other building downtown without ever going outside. It's not the fastest or most direct way to get around, but it's the warmest way. As we approach Nicollet Mall again, we see a familiar face in front of the former Dayton's department store and stop to get a picture. Just off the corner stands a life-size statue of Mary Tyler Moore throwing her hat up in the air, as she did in the opening scenes of the Mary Tyler Moore Show that aired on CBS from 1970 to 1977. The scenes shown during the opening credits were shot in this immediate area and around Minneapolis. To our right is the 2-block area that is occupied by City Center Shopping Mall and the 51-story tower, which used to be called the Multi-Foods Tower, but was recently sold to Samsung. On the right side of the screen is Mayo Clinic Square. Originally built as Block E to be an enclosed entertainment and shopping destination, the project was heavily subsidized by taxpayers. The historic Schubert Theater was moved from the site 1 block. This set the world record for the heaviest building moved on rubber tires. It was moved a distance of 1,100 feet from its original location. Block E was deemed a failure. The restaurants and theater quickly went out of business. Mayo Clinic Square was a joint venture between the Minnesota Lynx, the Minnesota Timberwolves, and the Mayo Clinic. This includes a practice facility, medical clinic, and office complexes for both teams. On South 10th Street, we revisit the University of St. Thomas as we drive right between two of the buildings. A little about the city. Minneapolis is the county seat of Hennepin County, and when combined with St. Paul and all of the Twin Cities suburbs, comprise the 16th largest metropolitan area in the United States and the third largest economic center in the Midwest. Minneapolis developed around St. Anthony Falls, the highest waterfall on the Mississippi River and a source of power for its early industry. Forests in northern Minnesota were a valuable resource for the lumber industry, which operated 17 sawmills on power from the waterfall. Since Minneapolis is at the northern end of the Mississippi River, and we've tended to focus many of our videos on the opposite end of the river, we thought it would be appropriate to do some filming up here. Singer and multi-instrumentalist Prince was born in Minneapolis and lived in the area for most of his life. Other prominent artists from Minneapolis include Husker Du and The Replacements, who were pivotal in the U.S. alternative rock boom during the 1980s. Half of Minneapolis-St. Paul residents work in the city where they live. Most residents drive cars, but 60% of the 160,000 people working downtown commute by means other than a single-person automobile. The Metropolitan Council's Metro Transit, which operates the light rail system and most of the city's buses, provides free travel vouchers through the Guaranteed Ride Home program to allay fears that commuters might otherwise be occasionally stranded if, for example, they had to work late hours. Here at the corner of 3rd and Washington is the former train depot, dating back to 1899. Heavy rail no longer runs to this area, but the building is still called the depot and houses an ice skating rink. Much of what you see on the left was built in the last 15 years. This is where the old railroad tracks ran, and after the train stopped coming downtown, it was converted to surface level parking. More recently, luxury condominiums have been built designed to blend in with the architecture of the neighborhood. We will conclude today's video at the Seven Corners area where Washington meets Cedar Avenue. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to help support our channel, please check out our merchandise at 504roadtrips.spreadshirt.com. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up, post a comment, subscribe, share, and follow us on social media, and join us for our next 504, or in this case 612, road trip.